Hello and welcome to the Cohen Group Northwest studio. Today is Wednesday, and that means it's time for this week's market update. Last week, we covered overall numbers for Whatcom County and also Bellingham specifically for the second quarter of 2021. Today, I'm going to provide some national observations as well as look at initial data for Linden, Ferndale, and Blaine. The timing of this is actually perfect because my Realtor magazine arrived yesterday and they did a multi-page article on the national housing shortage because while COVID supply chain, employment, and manufacturing issues brought our housing crisis really to the forefront, we've actually been in a national housing shortage for 5 years. NAR's chief economist Lawrence Yun gave kind of an overview of the market over the last 15 to 20 years. He said that overbuilding during the housing bubble in the early part of the 2000s led to a 2.1 million unit housing surplus in 2006. And then underproduction during and after the Great Recession led to a housing normalization in 2011, but underproduction continued. And by 2015, we had a 2 million home shortfall nationally. That underproduction is true here locally as well. According to the housing FAQ page on the City of Bellingham's website, which I highly recommend for anyone who's interested in the data surrounding this issue locally, we need about 600 new housing units to be permitted and built every year to keep up with our projected population growth. And over the last 10 years, we've averaged 430 units. One indicator of how hot a market is the days on market metric. How many days as a median are homes on the market before they'll typically go under contract? This graph, well, let me just show it to you. Here is the 10-year history for Bellingham, Linden, Ferndale, and Blaine's median days on market for residential homes. Bellingham is that purple line, and it's generally the fastest moving market historically, with Blaine as the orange one, where homes have typically taken longer to sell. You can also see with this rise and fall how in the winter months, homes everywhere generally take longer to sell than they do in the summer. But look at this end and how they converge in 2021. The median days on market for the second quarter in all 4 of these municipal areas was under 1 week. Zooming back out to a national perspective, by the end of 2020, the US was at a 4.8 million unit home shortfall. And in April of 2021, the US residential sales market was hovering at around 17 days on market nationally, which is the fastest moving market on record. So what we saw in the second quarter of Whatcom County with multiple offers here and 20 showings there and 50 showings there, it wasn't unique. But we do see it at an accelerated rate or pace in our area just because of how popular this area is to move into. So that's a summary on how the national economic context is playing out in our local area. Now for some quick data on Linden, Ferndale, and Blaine and how they did in the second quarter. In the second quarter, Ferndale's median sales price was up to $543,000, and new construction residential sales were actually really comparable to what they were in the same quarter in 2020. Linden's median close price was $540,000 in the second quarter and saw a year-over-year price appreciation of 22%. I was also curious about new construction in Linden, and I saw that for closed new construction sales, there was a rise in 2017 up to 2019, and it's kind of tapered off since then over the course of 2020 and into 2021. Looking northwest to Blaine, new construction was 15% of closed sales in the second quarter of 2020, but it was only 9% of the closed sales in the second quarter of this year. The median residential sale price for Blaine right now is $495,000, and Blaine saw a 35% year-over-year appreciation for residential homes. Now, this video is covering a lot of data over a lot of area in a relatively short amount of time. So if you're the type of person who likes to read reports with a lot of graphics, a lot more detail, video clips spaced throughout, I will be packaging this and last week's market update into a pretty lengthy blog post that covers each area systematically, shows graphics for median prices, days on market, and closed sales. So keep an eye out. By the end of this week, that'll be up on the Cohen Group Northwest blog, and I'll be posting links to it on our Linktree and on social media. And that was this week's market update. We'll see you next time.